3:55 is up next. 7 furlongs the trip for this 0 to 70 handicap. The download race day ready today handicap. We start with a look at the top weight. Al Muqdad gets into this off a mark of 71 for David O'Mara, whose horses are running well, and this horse is in good form, having won at Newcastle on the all-weather last time out. Switches to the turf for the first time for this stable. It is testing ground, but there is encouragement in his pedigree that he could handle the testing underfoot conditions, and race fitness will be a plus.
We've got a live wire next in the paddock. This is number 7, Rusker, refitted with the blinkers, and he knows about it. The blinkers should help him, and he's got a run behind him 3 weeks ago that will have put him spot on for this. Expect a positive ride from David Allen.
The following horse in the paddock is Maxi, I think, for Richard Fahey. Horse who has dropped in the weights a little bit and went very close off this mark at Newcastle just the other day. So back in good form, race fit, and conditions I think should be okay. He's got some soft ground form in the book. He's a fairly solid option as a horse that should run well.
Then we've got a previous course and distance winner. There are a few of them in this field, but Camacho Star hasn't had quite as much racing as most of these, only a 4-year-old. Latest win came on the all-weather at Southwell in December. He's been freshened up since we last saw him, but he won't have had quite the lengthy winter break that a lot of these horses have had, and he looks well.
Followed by another of those that likes this track, and that is number 12 Langham for Michael Dodds, who was among the winners yesterday, and this horse has become really well handicapped. He likes this track. He was second in this race last year off a £10 higher mark, so he's got early season form that is solid without having won when fresh, but from a handicapping point of view he's interesting, and he's got the right style of racing for this track as well. He's clearly a big player, is Langham under Connor Beasley.
And another big player, and one of those prominent in the market, is number 2 Beauty Choice. Goes for Mick and David Easterby, looking for a double on the card. Looks really well actually, this horse. It's 3 weeks since we last saw him running on the all-weather. He's been running pretty respectably in recent months. He does have form on very soft ground over 7 furlongs, drawn in stall 2, so that's not going to be a negative the way that we've seen the track riding today. They seem to be able to go anywhere and everywhere, probably staying away from that far rail, but he's definitely a horse with a chance and should handle conditions no problem.
Number 9 is next, Shark 2-1, who does handle conditions, a heavy ground winner back in the autumn of last year, representing the Jessica Macy team as well, who've got a 20% strike rate with their runners since the turn of the year. They've had a few winners of late among those 8 victories that they've had in the season so far, but he is conceding match sharpness to 1 or 2.
Mutanaaseq is next, the chestnut. This is number 4. Looks well on his toes for his seasonal comeback, and he's back at Catterick. He likes it here. He showed that last season, 4 wins here over course and distance last season. He does want them to go hard in front, but that is pretty likely with the likes of Langham and Rusker in the field.
Followed by number 5, Emperor Caradoc, who is race fit after a few outings on the all-weather, but hasn't really been threatening. Easy ground conditions not a problem for him though.
Mr. Strutter is next, yet another of the course specialists in the field. We've not seen him for 3 months. He handles conditions fine. He won here at the back end of last turf season in pretty good style, but he does have an increased mark as a result of that.
I think we've seen them all ahead of our next. So onto this 7 furlong handicap, which is the one of the more higher grade race in terms of handicap ratings on the card. Al Muqdad is 4-1 at the top of the betting for this, for David O'Mara, whose horses are in good nick, and he comes into it on the up and in good form, does Al Muqdad. He's just got ability to handle conditions as a question mark next to his name.
Yeah, you were mentioning the pedigree though earlier.
Yeah, she is a positive. Miss Work of Art went on it, and she's produced, I think, 2 or 3 horses that have won on soft or heavy ground.
So that gives you some indication that he will handle it. He's only his second ever start on the turf as well, but look, he is an improver in the field, and this isn't a race that's got a stack full of improvers. If it was good ground, he'd probably be half the price that he is, to be honest, in a race like this. So it kind of levels off, doesn't it? At what point do you take the chance? He's out to 5-1 now, Al Muqdad. Drawn in stall 1, and the latest form at Newcastle when he beat One More Dream is pretty solid.
Yeah, just looked a bit revvy in the paddock, did Rusco, with those blinkers on. You wonder whether there's a chance that he ends up overdoing it, but as a rule, you don't want to get too far back here anyway, so be interesting to see how this plays out. Langham is the horse that we thought might just take the beating, but he might strip a little bit fitter for the run I've been seeing him.
Yeah, he possibly will, just looking at him. He looked like he could come on for it. The positive would be based on last year's first time out run, when he, in this very race, off a £10 higher mark, he finished second. He was only beaten a length on that occasion. So we know that he handles very soft ground, which he's got. We know that he's a regular here at Catterick and he runs the track well. So positives as far as that concerned. I did agree with you though that he did look like he might just come on a bit for it. Maybe that's just him nowadays. Yeah. Maybe as an older horse he just carries a little bit of condition. Beauty Choice and the other joint favourite, he's fit from the all-weather, as is Al Muqdad, who I suppose is 5-1 only because of the fact that he isn't proven on the ground. It's a real unknown with him, but the pedigree, the dam has produced a couple of soft ground winners that give you hope that he will handle it, and if he does, then 5-1 could be a big price about him, given the way that he's going and the strength of his latest form when he beat a subsequent winner at Newcastle.
Yeah, his dam Miss Work of Art did win on testing ground. She's produced Charles Lebrun, Tapisserie and Sky Blue Pink, who all won on a deep surface, so it does give you some encouragement. Beauty Choice does have some early career form on a slow surface in his race fitting in form. Mutanaaseq would want a pace collapse, but it's not impossible one happens.
Well, looking at the way that Rusco was revved up in the paddock, he will be going forward, I would imagine. So will Emperor Caradoc in all likelihood, and we know that Langham only has that one way of going, really. He's enthusiastic and he races forward.
All in as Shark 2-1 rears, gets a little restless. They're off for the download race day ready today. Handicap, Langham and Shark 2-1, the first two away. Emperor Caradoc is on their outside in the black and white stripes. Just in behind the leaders comes Rusco, and then a gap of about a length. Red and white colours of Beauty Choice halfway down the field. Al Muqdad is closest to the running rail, followed by Camacho Star. Further back to Mutanaaseq, Maxi and Mr. Strutter. Langham is widest of all now as they edge towards the final half mile. In the centre, Emperor Caradoc, and up along the inside, Shark 2-1 there. The front wave, Rusco and Beauty Choice are just in behind them from Camacho Star, Mutanaaseq and Al Muqdad, Maxi and Mr. Strutter. They're on the descent towards the final 3 furlongs. Emperor Caradoc and Langham are together. Purple jacket of Rusco just in behind them. Shark 2-1 is following them. Beauty Choice, Camacho Star, Mutanaaseq, Maxi, Mr. Strutter and Al Muqdad is last of all. Langham's got the lead at the top of the straight, leads by about a half length as Rusco now makes a big effort to the left. Langham between horses. Shark 2-1, Emperor Caradoc still in there pitching. Here comes Beauty Choice with a big run. A furlong and a half to go. Away to the extreme right is Al Muqdad, who's trying to get on terms, but it is Langham and Beauty Choice. They're being followed by Rusco. Mutanaaseq just in behind the leaders. They're inside the final furlong. Langham, Beauty Choice, Rusco hard up against the plastic. They are the front three. It is Beauty Choice, Langham as they go to the finish. Beauty Choice is in front. Beauty Choice the winner. Langham second place. Close for places then between Mutanaaseq and Rusco. And it's another one for Mick and David Easterby.
Double on the day for Mick and David Easterby. They took the opening race on the card. They've taken this 7 furlong handicap with Beauty Choice under Joanna Mason, getting the better of Langham, who's second in this race once again, but he might just tighten up for it. Mutanaaseq has finished in third, just ahead of Rusco, who is strong in the market, and that is a promising return from Mutanaaseq. But Beauty Choice at 5-1 brings up a double for the winning trainers.
Yeah, and he travelled really well just in behind them, didn't he, Beauty Choice? Joanna was just looking for a little bit of room with about 2 to run, but she managed to pick her way through just in time. It opened up nicely, and he's shown a good attitude in the finish, with Langham still continuing to rally late on, but he's been a while without a win, hasn't he, Langham? He will come on for the run, I'm sure he will, but it's not going to help in handicapping terms. Again, a bit like last year, he's going to get nudged up a couple of pounds.